Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good morning, and hello, our viewers. I'm glad to have you here. We are all glad to have you here at LSA, and it's such a privilege to have you tune in today. I want to believe that you can all hear me. My name is Naomi Mwaura, and I'll be co-hosting. I am from Kenya. I am a librarian, and I'm very happy to be here in this very first edition. I hope you are. And this is the very first special edition for 2026. I hope you're excited. And please allow me to say Happy New Year. I know it's too late, but being this the first edition this year, please receive our Happy New Year from LSA, and we hope to have a very good time. Before I continue, I would really like to know who we have with us tonight. So if you can kindly type in your name and which country you come from, we would really, really appreciate. As we do that, please let all our friends, all our colleagues from all over, everyone that you know, kindly let them know that we are live. We will not want anyone to miss this special opportunity. So please, please, please tell them to join. You do not really want to touch that dial. So I want to see who is the first one. Aha, we have the very first one. Michael from Covenant University, the very first person we have in this special edition. It's good to have you, Michael. Who else? Who is the second after Michael? Who is the second? Who else do we have? Who else do we have? I really want to see who we have. I'm very excited. I hope you're very excited too. We have Abiola from Nigeria. Good to have you, Abiola. How are you, Abiola? It's good to have you. Who else do we have? Who else do we have? Wonderful. We have Odunayo from Library Archival and Information Studies. Abiola Odunayo is a student from University of Ibadan. Good to have you. And I'm glad you're joining, and I believe you get inspired from this series. Good, good, Odunayo. Who else do we have? Who else do we have? Yes, we have Jimo from Nile University of Nigeria. Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome, everyone. Feel free to just type in your name and where you're coming from. Great. I see the red scarf. Who else? Yeah. Dr. Moloku. Wow. Good to have you. Please, you will excuse me and for because I'm not able to really pronounce the names of my brothers and sisters from West Africa. Please pardon me if I don't mention you correctly, but next time I'll be able to. So Dr. Moloku, Federal College of Fisheries and Marine Technology, it's a pleasure to have you here, Doctor. We have Beatrice Wanjala, my friend, all the way from Kenya. At least I'm not alone. At least I have Beatrice, my good friend. It's good to have you, Beatrice, tonight. This morning, depending on where you are joining us from. I am very excited. Deborah from Nigeria. Greetings back to you, Deborah. Who else I see? Okay. Yeah. Deborah from Nigeria. Greetings. Who else do we have? It's very exciting to have all of you join here. Victoria from Delta State. What we are lined up for you is very exciting, and we have various activities that will be in the streamline. We have of course, I know you are waiting for the guest. The guest is here with us in the room, and everyone is excited to meet Professor Christopher. We will have formalities, which is what we are currently doing now, and then I will welcome my colleague who will introduce the Librarian of the Month. And there's so many exciting activities, including giving you an opportunity to interact directly with Professor Christopher, where you will be able to ask him questions and also learn from his very great experiences. He is an information professional, and we have a lot to learn I'm waiting for that session where I'll chance to interact with Professor, ask so many questions, share our worries and challenges, and I believe we're all going to learn. So without much further ado, I want to introduce and welcome our great and friend, the digital librarian, the one and only Sylvester Ebhonu. So Sylvester, please, I would want to welcome you to take over. As I can see, many people are joining and many people are really waiting to hear what we have on this very special edition, the very first of its kind in the year 2026. And we have Simon, we have Ekintude, all the way from Nigeria. All of them are here to learn from Christopher and to get inspired. Dear,
Yeah,
the floor is
thank you. Thank you so much, Naomi. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction and for warming up the floor for this conversation today. So quickly, let's just take a quick short break and we'll be right back. Okay, thank you very much. Naomi, hi, can you hear me? Hi, Naomi, can
clearly,
you hear me?
clearly. Hello, Sylvester, I can hear you.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. So, without further ado, I would like to again join Naomi to say welcome to everyone. We have a lot of dignitaries who are here backstage. We also have those who are watching live from YouTube and from LinkedIn. I recognize and appreciate every one of you. This is the first edition of the quarterly series of the Librarian Spotlight Africa in the year 2026. And very quickly, for those who are watching this program for the first time, I would like to let you know that the Librarian Spotlight Africa started 2 years ago, precisely. Yeah, it started 2 years ago, and our goal is simple. Our goal is to amplify the impact of librarians across Africa. We want to amplify their impact in a way that it inspires positive change across the continent. And by the grace of God, we've been achieving that. And a video will be releasing next month, documents everything we've done in the past 2 years. And we are publishing a brochure to that effect also. And we hope that when that publication comes out, it inspires everyone. So you see on the screen right now, we've had the likes of Professor Zaid, Dr. Caro from Nigeria, Kepi Madumo from South Africa, Dr. Fatima, Dr. Nkame, and Mulugeta from pardon me, I'm mixing up these countries. We had Melba from Namibia. So, and God has been really great. And these are people we see, some of them prefer to be silent about their achievements, about their impact, but our duty here is to not be quiet about what they do. And we are definitely going to blow the trumpet about what you are doing out there in the Librarian Spotlight Africa. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would not want to say, guess who our librarian of the month is. We already know who the person is. He's backstage right now. He's someone we all know. should I say we all? Because he's someone who, permit me to say, hides behind the camera. But today we have him in limelight. Today he's been impacting people behind the scene all over the world. He has made impact. But today, Professor Christopher. Good evening, sir, and how are you?
Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you, viewers. I'm delighted to be here.
Wow, amazing. Thank you, Prof, for being here today. We are excited to have you. I know a lot of people who are here already know who you are, but while my team, we were preparing for this program today, we did a lot of research, we did a lot of asking, we browsed, and then we learned, we saw in pictures and everything that all that you have done. We heard testimonies of the lives that you have impacted. So we also want to let our audience experience what we experienced when we went through the preparation. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to formally and officially introduce to you Professor Christopher Nkiko. The next voice you'll be hearing will be the voice of Victoria, a member of our team who heads the multimedia and content creation units. So, ladies and gentlemen, please listen.
This March, marking the fourth spotlight of our 2026 series, Librarian Spotlight Africa proudly spotlights Professor Christopher Nkiko as our Librarian of the Month, an accomplished Nigerian scholar whose 3-decade journey through banking, information management, and academic librarianship has transformed university libraries and advanced research across Nigeria.
Professor Christopher Nkiko graduated from the University of Benin in 1988 as the best student in political science, earning 2 departmental prizes. His journey did not begin in the library. It began in banking, where he spent over a decade in Nigeria's financial sector, gaining practical experience in administration, coordination, and organizational systems. But over time, his path shifted, drawn by a deeper interest in knowledge systems and information management. He went on to earn a PhD in Library and Information Studies alongside an MLS and an MSc in Political Science from the University of Ibadan, building a strong academic foundation for what would become a defining career in librarianship. At Covenant University, he rose through the ranks from Librarian 2 to Deputy University Librarian and eventually University Librarian in 2012. From there, he led at Elizade University and Samuel Adegboyega University before assuming his current role as University Librarian at Nile University of Nigeria. Across these institutions, his work has been consistent. Under his leadership, librarians evolved into structured knowledge ecosystems. He migrated outdated systems to modern integrated platforms, built an institutional repository powered by DSpace that shot Covenant University to number 1 in Nigeria and number 14 in all of Africa. Systems were upgraded, collections expanded, access improved alongside access to major scholarly databases. What stands out is not just the movement across institutions, but the pattern. Each library he led became more visible, more functional, and more aligned with needs of research and learning. Beyond administration, Professor Nkiko is a widely published scholar with contributions in areas such as copyright and intellectual property, bibliometrics, bibliotherapy, ICT in library services, and digital libraries. He serves on editorial boards, reviews for international journals, and has acted as external assessor for institutions including the University of Namibia, University of Ibadan, Bells University of Technology, and others. Professor Nkiko is a certified librarian of Nigeria and associate member of KILIP, UK, He has also contributed to the profession through leadership roles, conference engagements, and international study visits, bringing global perspectives into local practice.
Please join us in celebrating a leader and mentor whose work continues to shape libraries, strengthen institutions, and influence professionals across generations. A reminder that when guided with clarity and intent, a library can do far more than serve. It can transform. Cheers to our Librarian of the Month for March 2026, Professor Christopher Nkiko.
Amazing. 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 What a profile.
Thank you,
Sincerely. Let's see what everybody is saying in the comment section. Let's just see what they are saying. Wow. This is really beautiful. This is amazing. Wow, Prof, thank you so much for inspiring us with your lifestyle. You know, I want to first affirm that it is because of game changers like you, sir, that the Librarian Spotlight initiative was born. Because we want to let the world hear and see our heroes. And as we watched this documentary, different thoughts came to my head. You started your career in banking. Pardon me, I'm just going to go straight in questions.
Yeah.
What did that phase teach you that many librarians may be missing out today? Let's just go into these questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this great opportunity. I'm so grateful to you and your team and all the viewers out there. Yes, I started off from the banking sector and have to transit to library and information service sector. And I want to say that the lessons coming from the banking sector, one is accountability. In the banking sector, accountability is key. There's what we call sweating under the AC. At the end of the day, if you do not balance your account, there will be AC and you'll be sweating. You must not go. So it's a strong skill that one is bringing in to the library and information service. Then discipline is another, and resilience, the staying power until you have gotten your whatever. Then customer relations and retention. We don't just see people just come in and just go. You want to know those customers, you want to retain them. It's part of the things that bring the checks and balances. You don't just trust only one person. There are usually somebody monitoring and evaluating. A role is not left out to one person alone, you know. Then we have issues like personal branding. If you say Sylvester Ebhonu, what picture does that evoke? So in the banking sector, we take pride in branding ourselves personally, so that when you hear Christopher Nkiko, there's a picture that comes. If I don't like that picture, I have to rebrand it. Then there's corporate branding. If I'm serving Nile University of Nigeria Library, what picture, what branding am I bringing on board? You know. Then there's a concept of what we call delegatus non potest delega. Is a Latin word.
Oh my
Delegatus
goodness.
non potest delega. It simply means only tasks can be delegated. Responsibilities cannot be delegated. That means if I'm the head of the library, if anything goes wrong, I must take responsibility for it. I wouldn't say it's my deputy, I wouldn't say it's the reader services, and I have a right to delegate, but I must monitor to ensure that nothing goes wrong. But I can't delegate responsibility, I can only delegate assignment. So it's one of the key takeaways from the banking sector. Then we have issues like reading the room. Reading the room. When you enter a place, emotional intelligence, even without a spoken word, you'll be able to perceive what people are saying about you in that room and evaluate. So we are trained to read the room, you know. Then we talk about courage, poise, and confidence. one of the attractions first to me as a young person to the bank, and I saw the way they dress, how they carry themselves, and stuff like that. And I can tell you throughout my librarianship, from Monday to Friday, you see me on suit. Only on unofficial days, you can see me on FT. And so it's part of those. Then, more importantly, there's what we call OVI, Organizational Visibility Index. Organizational Visibility Index. When you mention somebody's for assignment, maybe at a board meeting or somewhere they want to give him an assignment, what they say, what is OVI? What is Organizational Visibility Index? What is the impact in the organization? It's not by noise making. Can we see key deliverables that he has handled before? So I came with such consciousness into library and information science that there's a place for impact. When you are doing something, there must be deliverables, concrete deliverables. We say managers maintain the status quo, but leaders cause change once they enter a place. So that's one of the things that we must not take for granted when it comes to, and there are transferable skills. So I think that answered that for now.
Amazing. See, I don't know if everyone is for what you are going to be getting served with tonight. In just less than 2 minutes, I feel like we have just written a complete book. I don't know how many points you shared now. I hope Victoria was counting for me, but I see the OVI. What stood out for me there was about responsibility, where you talked about only tasks can be delegated. That stands out also. And then you talked about sweating under the AC. And then I also see Victoria talked about discipline. So, so Prof, you'd really agree with me that for librarianship to really step beyond the level we are right now, we need to bring some of these industry perspective or mindset to what we do. Is that what you align with?
Exactly. That is it.
Okay. So let me now ask: at what point did it become clear to you that your path was no longer just about a job, but about building knowledge systems? I mean, that point where you moved into librarianship. At what point did you think that wasn't your path, about that job, that industry anymore? At what point in your life, sir?
Yeah. Let me quickly mention that at a later stage, when I write my memoir, I will go into details about that change. But for now, permit me to paraphrase it to tell you that at a point I was getting not satisfied with the banking sector for a lot of reasons that were outlined later. This time will not take it. Then I also want to mention that I was also a PhD student in political science in University of Ibadan. While in the bank, I was doing PhD in political science. Then during that period, I go to Kennedy Library, reading voraciously. Even when I was in my first degree in University of Benin, I read voraciously. It's as if I would stay in the library until they are pursuing me out of that place. So having read so much, I remember reading some books. One of them showcased library as the temple of knowledge. Then I was, wow, I love knowledge. So how will it be if I'm in the temple of knowledge? Then there's another one that talked about the house of life, describing library as a house of life. Another one talked about the reservoir of global intellectual property, then a platform for democratization of knowledge. So I did a lot of reading. Meanwhile, still doing my PhD in political science, because I was getting tired of the sector that I was in. I was trying to transit to something else, into the academia and stuff like that. Then I'm also a Christian. I was also praying that God should direct me where I'm going to go. So after reading all those things, I was blown off about the perspectives about the library, that once you enter the library, it opens door to unlimited possibilities. Perspectives that change, transformation that takes place. So I felt, wow, this is really temple of knowledge. Then I walked straight to the Department of Library and Information Science and Libraries in University of Ibadan. I said I want to see the HOD, and that was Professor Legbeleye. So I now told him that this is where I am. I'm already on a PhD program. and that from things I'm reading about the library, I want to cross over to library and information science. I actually expected he would allow me to cross to do PhD in library and information science. So he sat me down, educated me very well about the professional dimension of the course that I need. If I am so convinced, I should start from the master's level. So to cut it short, I started from the master's
Yeah.
level and fell really in love that apart from this job, I want to be part of creating a system that really situates libraries as a temple of knowledge, as a platform for the democratization of knowledge, and true reservoir for intellectual property. I think it was those that really brought me to.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing this. And I hope that would inspire someone watching us here today. Prof, before we start talking about your impacts in details, I want to say that every leader once started as a follower. And from your story, we could see we can begin to feel how your experience was like. Could you please give us some little more details about your experience in your early career as a librarian? Because I'm beginning to imagine in my head how you navigated the challenges associated with the job as a librarian, and I mean lessons that shaped you as you rose through the ranks from librarian to deputy university librarian and then to university librarian. What were those lessons, and how did you navigate all these stages, bro?
Thank you. I want to say there's a plethora of them, and it was not as easy as it seems now. There are challenges, and we're able to navigate through. But let me mention a few for this occasion. One is like shortly after I entered within the university system, I recognized or I noticed lack of recognition for the profession. It looked as if the
Yes.
profession was being looked down upon by our colleagues within the university system. So, noting from where I was coming from, where visibility was an issue for us and stuff like that. So I tried to find out what is really causing that. So and I remembered one of my great mentors, Oprah Winfrey, wrote on the culture of excellence. He says excellence is the cure to discrimination, sexism, and racism. So anywhere you feel you are looked down upon, anywhere that you look as if people are not accepting you, it's not their fault. It's because there's no excellence. So I now talk to myself that it's not about the system. You can create your own environment and not allow that environment to define. You can create that environment to redefine yourself. So I went into continuous learning, reading, and in the field and generally in academia. And now within time, when we go to platforms that other faculty members, teaching departments are coming, contributions I will making on that platform, make them to see that this person stands out and begin to find out,
Wow.
oh, some will follow me and say, which department are you from? I say, from the university library. So that begin to get some recognitions, and some will even tell me, we didn't know librarians are this, So the first thing was that lack of recognition. And when I remembered my mentor, Oprah Winfrey, has said the only cure to such things is excellence. And so it's one of the things I encountered. And I also recommend to anybody growing anywhere you find yourself, not just a library, excellence is the cure to discrimination, racism, or sexism. Then the other is there was a threat of emerging technologies. As at the time I was joining, ICT became the in thing. And
Yes.
even when I was in a bank, it was more of an analog system. We had only one computer room then. That when you finish batching, you just everybody go and line up there to get your give it to the computer people to capture the data for you and stuff like that. The next day they give you a printout to call out and stuff. So that was the and you're
Wow.
now entering librarianship to find out that ICT is the in thing, And for me to navigate through that, I had to get a young boy who has only school sat. Don't forget, I'm on PhD at this point in time. I get a boy with school sat, almost a roadside boy. He comes to my office, I give him 5,000, sometimes 3,000. He will dismantle computers and be showing me different parts of computer and be teaching me
Wow.
secretly and stuff like that. So
Wow.
within time, I became comfortable with the digital environment. Just bringing this young boy, So what that does to us is that you can learn from anybody. Just find out where the gaps are and find out how to mitigate that gap. Now, one important thing we should note is that how come a school start holder was so dexterous in the use of computer and technologies, and some professors are so averse to it? The simple reason is that when it comes to learning, there are three skills: cognitive skill, psychomotor skill, and affective skill. So what those of us in academics rely on is a cognitive skill. You can analyze,
Yeah.
theorize, have reasoning, logical sequence, and stuff like that. But motor skills is by doing. The more they do, the more they become so much dexterous and all that. So ICT is like a toy. The younger you are, the more you play with it, it becomes normal and natural. So I soon discovered that and overcame that. Don't forget the issue of reputation and recognition have been sorted. The issue of ICT, and now through that young boy, I've come to the mainstream. And today, I scarcely remembered his name. When I was preparing, I was like, what's the name of this boy again? But the skills are mine because I've gotten them from him. Then, again, I also noticed we are around 5 librarians in Covenant University then, plus the head of the library. And we had over 5,000 books to catalog within a month, classified. Because UC was coming and we don't move to a new library. And so we find ourselves sometimes sleeping inside the library itself. So in the night, you just go and take your meal, come back, and we're doing that. Some of us have small children, we bring them to the library and let them sleep while working. So that's also about sacrifice, so overcoming something. Then I also want to say I was shuttling between Ibadan and Ota for a PhD program and was involved in multiplicity of assignments, committees, different areas and all that. So multitasking and is another area which you can overcome some of those things. You wait until you solve one problem before you now join the other one, you see yourself stagnating. So just to let you a few, I had my own challenges, but there are ways to surmount them. There's no challenge that didn't surmount them. Yeah, thank
you. Sincerely. And I think the takeaway from this at the end of the day is I'm someone who likes multitasking a lot. So hearing from Professor Nkiko endorsing multitasking, it makes me feel very proud of myself right now. Thank you so much, Prof. So, Prof, let's look at your roles in university libraries, and because you've led a lot of them, and you did not just lead these university libraries, you left them transformed. Now, it would be a great opportunity for everyone watching this today and those who may be watching it in another time in future, 5 years from now. What's the first thing you look out for when you walk into a new institution? I don't know what you look out for that brings about this transformation. Is it systems? What do you just watch out for that brings about this transformation?
Yeah, I get that. Thank you, sir. I want to say that, let me give you a scenario first. Can you imagine for a second transposing everybody in London to Lagos and transpose everybody from Lagos to London within 6 months and watch how that comes? So it's not the systems, it's not the people, it's the culture. If you transport everybody from London to Lagos, within 6 months, the culture they will bring to bear to affect the environment and the people. When you transpose the people from Lagos to London, you will see them bring the culture they have to affect the system and the people. So for me, it's organizational culture. And I say that habits are stronger than knowledge. Once people develop habits, it becomes autopilot. But once knowledge does not translate to habits, you'll be repeating it over and over and wonder why you're wasting money and time and people are not buying into that. So the very first thing for us is to understand organizational culture or develop a strong and entrenched organizational culture and get a buy-in into it. And you see people begin to behave automatically and things begin to change. Like the scenario I gave you, if everybody in London comes to Lagos, in the first 1 month they will have problems. There are no conveniences on the road when they are going on the road to stop by and all that. So they begin to think of erecting conveniences before you know things start changing and stuff like that. The other persons, if you don't take time, they will maintain the conveniences around those areas and stuff like that. So culture is very strong. Developing habits. Once you can attend conferences and do so many things, but when you don't become habits, you find out that you struggle with it. And so one of the things I look out for is the culture in that place. Then I also do what I call competency gap analysis. If I enter a particular place, I want to find out what are the available competencies. What is the gap?
Okay.
Where am I likely going to get the deficit or the surplus? There have been
Yes,
times
sir.
I deliberately go to the vice chancellor, say, please, I want to headhunt so person. If I need Sylvester to come to this place, I just go all out and say, sir, I want me to perform. I need so and so person. See the CV, and there are persons like
Amazing.
that. Maybe someone that hired me tonight, I had to headhunt them because there's a
Yes.
gap found. So I do such things.
Yes.
And
Wow.
I also say,
Wow.
I observe what I call one of the laws of dialectics. There's what we call the principle of dialectics. One of the laws says nothing is standing alone. There are connections and interconnections. When you enter a new place, don't just start acting. You might find out the messenger or the
Exactly. That's
cleaner
where
in your
many people
office.
get it wrong.
The cleaner in your office is related to the managing director or is a relation of the vice chancellor. Sometimes the one writing your report at home. Say, how's your boss? My boss does not come to work until 12 noon and stuff like that. And it's the one monitoring you and all that. So for you, you have to understudy the connections and interconnections within a system because they will help you later in pushing your strategies across and persuading certain persons to make certain things happen. So for me, those are the key things for now that I look at when I enter a new place, and they have been very helpful with time.
Amazing, 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 Prof. Thank you so much. Sincerely, this is very helpful, and I don't know what's going on in the comment section right now. I really wish I could spotlight as much as I could right now about what participants are saying, but this heads of a unit in the library. Let's say you are appointed. Can you hear me, please?
Take it
Hello?
again. I'm just hearing you. You are off.
Can you hear me?
Okay, please take it again.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I was just trying to buttress your points because
Okay.
I have had personal experiences.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people are appointed into positions, it could be for instance, head of the reader service division, or even as university librarians. The first thing they do is they want to hit the ball rolling. They want to install the latest software. They want to bring in the best innovations. What you have just shared with us today is like
Hello?
Prof, pardon me.
Okay.
So sorry.
Yeah.
It's been raining heavily here, so
Oh, okay.
I'm very
Okay.
sorry about
Okay.
that network
Okay.
glitch. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. So, Prof, let me just go to the next question.
Okay.
Now, as a follow up to what you've shared with us, do you know
Yeah.
that many libraries invest in systems? they invested, they do everything. I wouldn't say everything, let's say almost everything that you've shared with us,
Yeah.
yet they get little relevance or no relevance. They make less impact. Some institutions, they have the budget, the funding is there, but their relevance is still not felt. The impact that they dish out is still not felt. So where do you think the disconnect usually lies? Where
Okay.
does it lie?
I want to say that from my experience, systems, people, and structures will be mere decorations. They will mere decorations if the question of returns on investment is not always resolved and settled. From the background I'm coming from, when you want to start a project, you will sit down to talk about the returns on investment, ROI. And so
Yes.
part of the thing is not just about implementing those systems. It's when you sit down to say what is going to be returns on these investments. If you just see it that at the end of the month they pay me my salary, whether there is an outcome, whether there's deliverable or not, you won't be able to perform. But from the onset, you're able to define these are the key deliverables, these are the return on investment, and somebody is holding you accountable to say we are approving social amount of money. Before we approve, tell us what's the returns on our investment. And those, you must be able to spell those things out. And because you have spelled them out, you're establishing goals and objectives and key performance indicators. If there are goals, there are objectives, and we now define key performance indicators. What are the milestones that will show us that we're getting there? What will we see to know that we are bringing returns? And those returns is already known. But most times, nobody asks those questions. Nobody is holding anybody accountable on some of those things. No monthly reports, no quarterly reports. There's no way you come to account or to evaluate again these services we have deployed, even getting feedback from the people. You can be doing what you want. Are you really serving them? Do you understand the need of the people? Are you really serving their needs? And so when you come to the Gen Z, for example, they have some characteristics. And most times, like us in the academic libraries, they form the preponderance of our patrons. So they want to see things more, they have more preference for digital resources. They want to see virtual operations and stuff like that. There are certain things they need to see. If they don't see it, they are not relating with you. And unlike the olden generation that will count seating capacity, how many people enter the library, this one don't need to physically come. But they log in online, you look at how many downloads, how many visit points, how many requests settled online and stuff like that. And so you send the materials to them, so you'll be able to get their interest and buying into those whatever, creating awareness and all that. Then we also talk about the need to do SWOT analysis. Your library, the project, have you done to find out what is the strength? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the threats? So most times, some libraries run it just one service, the way we've been doing it forever, we do it like that. So you can bring an annual SWOT analysis you have done for some time to show you where those gaps are so that you can plug them and be able to leverage on that. So it's one of the things that go wrong. Then benchmarking and competitive intelligence. I've had to travel to almost 5, 6 United Kingdom libraries, most of the university libraries, to just compare what they are doing from what we're doing in my own base. And you come back with a report to see how are we comparable to them, what are they doing differently. And when you observe that, you want to come and deploy certain things to close the gap. So some of these
Yes, sir.
people rely on vendors to come and market projects and all that, and you have not gone anywhere to benchmark where this is happening before, then competitive intelligence, you should be able to see who are your peers in the industry. What are they doing within and outside the country to see how they are delivering such services and all that, so that from there, when you talk together, you'll be able to see where the irrelevance is coming from. But when you just deploy
Yeah.
projects, no strategies, no sitting down to plan, that's what you get. So it become mere decorations. You have spent so much money, you have got Sometimes even the people are not well trained and all that. So those are issues.
Okay, thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Prof. Thank you. So, this is going to be, I think, let me do something more practical, Prof.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I know it's a little bit crowded, but let
Mm.
me try to make it a little clearer. How about now? Now, Prof, we talked about the preparation for this program today. Now,
Yeah.
what you see on the screen are different screenshots, anonymous screenshots of different conversations I've had with different people who you've had to influence positively. You may not know, and I don't think you these people. Okay, now I want to read some of these comments. The first person said, he did a great work mentoring us. Very selfless human being. That is our own GOAT, the greatest of all time. And then the person said, I haven't seen any other librarian in this profession in Nigeria that matches his kind of achievement. Producing 7 university librarians, men, male and female of timber and caliber. Although I stand to be corrected, but I know there is none yet. And then another person here says he single-handedly transformed Covenant University Library to be the best in Nigeria. Another person says he is a teacher, a mentor, and a builder of men. Prof, these are not just about praise singing. Okay. Um, at this point, I want to ask, how do you approach the issue of mentorship? How do you have so much influence and impact on people? While you are still holding on to this question, Prof, I want you to watch this video from Professor Ilu. I know this will come as a surprise. Let's listen to Professor Ilu.
Okay.
I am Professor Promise Ebhonu, the University Librarian, University of Nigeria, Soka. I am one of the products of Professor Nkiko's mentorship. I sincerely appreciate God as I join the whole world to celebrate this regime, this astute professional, and a mentor in a million. I have had so many things to benefit from the mentorship of Professor Nkiko, Christopher. I joined Covenant University in 2005, and back then he was already there working. When I came in, it appeared as if I wasn't grasping everything, because in the library school we get a lot of theoretical experience, but the practice has to be in the field. The first thing that touched me when I started working with him one-on-one is the fact that he writes very well. And so I wanted to start writing like him. So anytime I did any write-up, I'll bring it to him. The first one I brought, he read it in my presence and he said, Madam, you are not writing well. He cancelled a lot of things and told me to go, but he told me what to do. And I began to work on my writing. Much later, I brought another document for him. He read it and said, Madam, you're improving, but the rate of your improvement is not acceptable to me. Go and write well, study, read books, write well. If you don't write well, if you bring this kind of thing you're bringing to me next time, he said, Madam, I will throw you away, I will throw your paper away. You know, he's this kind of man that when you do something well, he will praise you and praise you that you'll be so excited. If you have not done it well, he will shout on you. You know, he may even scold you. He will begin to shout on you, and you just promise him that you will do better. And since that day till today, Professor Nkiko has given me everything he knows. He has done so much. He has not reserved any effort. But even as I'm talking, if I call him for anything, he gives me the best. He makes a lot of sacrifices for people. Professor Nkiko, my boss, I joined the whole world to celebrate him. I want to say congratulations. You have not seen anything yet. You are going higher and higher, and the Lord will take you.
Amen. So, Prof,
This
I
is
had
great.
to I had to play this so that people see what we're talking about. This is not hearsay, right? And that video was edited. It was about almost 10 minutes long. We had to cut it
Wow.
short. So, Prof, we want to. How do you approach the issue of mentorship? How do you do it so well? How do you look? What do you look for when identifying young professionals? And I don't know, just share your secret with us. This is it's a rare opportunity for us
Thank you.
to learn
I want
from.
to say that that video is so humbling to me and for the great work. Let me say, for me, first point in my brain is that mentorship is about firmness, friendship, and focus.
Okay.
All my members of my team, I will tell them, for me, there's firmness, there's friendship, there's focus. I want you to be yourself. We're a corporate family, but we must not lose focus. And I'll be firm. When I need to rebuke you, I will rebuke you. When I need to praise you, I will praise you. So that's the first. Once you accept that, I announce to you is firmness, friendship, focus, 3F. Then the other one is about leadership by products. Samsung has an inscription in one of his vehicles, say leadership by products, not leadership by qualification, not leadership by number of years, not leadership by title. So can we see the product of your leadership? So that's one of the things that goes on in my mind. When I see persons, I would say, once this person is willing, I'm willing. Can I see myself in this person replicating? So leadership by product. The other is, for me, mentorship is challenging and guiding people to discover themselves. People carry value, sometimes they don't know. So you need to help them to discover those values themselves. There are persons who carry value they don't know. Some know about the value, some don't do anything about those values. So I will able to help people to identify that they carry some values that's either lying dormant or not well refined, and also that they discover themselves and be the very best. Then it's also creating opportunities for people to excel. Can you create opportunity for persons under your team to excel? That to me is mentorship. It's also about thinking about the next generation. Whether you like it or not, there's a time some of us will bow out. There are times some persons will bow out. Even when you want to apply it, they will tell you, so and so, please don't apply. It's meant for so and so persons. You know. So, what generation are you handing over to? Have we thought of the next generation? You know. So, every one of us have a responsibility to think of a new generation for to perpetuate the robustness of the profession. Or so that's what mentorship is. It's also about thinking about impact. I used to say to them, every day you are writing either a chapter, a page, or a book about yourself that we read. Like you look, just read a chapter or a page about me now, and I never knew that. So if you ask me the other way around, she would say the same thing.
Yeah.
So every one of us should be so mindful of the fact there's a life after office. And at the time, people will write some things about us, and it's about impact. So if you have all the titles, if you have all the money, you have all the years, and there's nobody that benefited from any of those, it's not complete. So it's behind that genuine mentorship comes in. Then let me say, more importantly, mentorship is about jettisoning insecurity. Sometimes the mentor has insecurity that if I just release everything to them, they will take over from me and stuff like that. That's one of the funny things that goes on in some clients. So for you to be a mentor, you must destroy insecurity in your own life and create appropriate boundaries because it has to be balanced. Because like I said, it's about friendship. There's firmness, there's focus. But in doing that, don't be afraid that anybody will take over from you. I can't be in Nile University of Nigeria and be in Soka at the same time. So if I have been caging, those people will not be there. You know, so every leader must ensure that you destroy insecurity and embrace, create appropriate boundaries that enable meaningful mentorship to take place. That's for the approach. But you ask another question: how do I identify those talents?
Yeah.
One to me is curiosity. When I see
Yes,
people
sir.
that are very curious, I begin to mark that I'm going to get closer to this person. Curiosity,
Amazing.
consistency, not one off thing. Some are excited at the spur of the moment. After some time, that excitement dies off. Maybe there's a sustained
Yes.
interest
Mm.
is a candidate, then willingness. Sometimes they're approaching you to say, please, how can I be better than this and all that? You know, so attitude is better than skills. When you see the people's attitude and whether he has a skill or not, it's easier to acquire those things once the right attitude is there. So that's identifying um, mentees and all that and approach.
Thank
I'm sure
you.
that
Thank you.
answers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Prof, sincerely, you answered the question very, very, very well. And I know that a lot of people who are looking up to having a mentor like you, they have just gotten into your mind. They have just gotten the secret. So they must exhibit curiosity, they must be willing, and their interest should not be temporary. They should not be curious for a moment and then that curiosity dies down over time.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Prof, for sharing these three beautiful tips. So I want to inform you, Prof, that Professor Ilo is not the only surprise guest we have here for you today. We are now about to go to the stage where we will honor you with a certificate to recognize you for all you have done. We have a surprise guest here in the studio live that would like to speak with you. We would want to bring that person up right now and some other persons, but we're wrapping up. It's 8 o'clock now and we want to close. So we are going to leave every other thing and take the final question. So Naomi, please, can you help me take the final question? Can you unmute your mic? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. I pen here and got me is where you say that you actually headhunt. And I want to believe that I will be your next person you headhunt. And if not that, and if not that, I'm going to be the next university librarian, courtesy of your mentorship, this time in Kenya. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we are really learning here. I've been mentored and inspired, and I've had to take notes. Prof, you have evolved through different decades, and I believe you've seen this profession grow from one point to another, different stages. Yeah, different stages, different changes. And currently where we are is the age of AI, where everyone is questioning everything. Are we still safe? Do we have jobs? Is AI going to take over? And all that. So this transformation is happening directly and impacts our profession.
Yeah.
Prof, what worries you most about this current direction?
Thank you, Naomi. I want to let you know that nothing worries me at all about this AI and emerging technologies. The reason is this. One, if you know the history of librarianship, it has evolved from the ancient to medieval to the modern time, and each time librarianship keep reinventing itself. There was a time it was just human memory, oral stage. There was a time it was clay and pulse, scrolls and parchment. We now move to the time where there's the books, journals. We now move to the time where there's technology, databases and all that. And some 10, 15 years ago, they were like, oh, there'll be no books, there'll be no libraries and all that. But you could see the library today has evolved again to make technology a tool, not just a replacement. So the same thing happens to AI. With the event of AI, the future belongs to those who can combine technology, critical thinking, and human insights. AI will not take over that. We need AI as a tool, and AI is not only affecting librarianship, it's affecting the entire spectrum of human experience and endeavors, medicine, wherever, every area. But just like every epoch of life, certain persons will fall behind once they don't reinvent themselves and embrace technology and innovation. Sometime in history, anybody who cannot read or write was called an illiterate. We now move to an epoch where if you cannot utilize technology, you are an illiterate. So we are moving yet to another one. If you cannot embrace the new technology, AI or whatever, and combine them, you'll be an illiterate of that. You will lose certain values. You won't be useful in certain areas, but the profession will thrive. Those who adapt, those who innovate, those who combine human insights, critical thinking, and technology will keep moving to the next level. And again, I want to let you know the hope is very high. Since people like you and Sylvester, the generation is very vibrant one, and during our time, nobody thought of having a platform like this, so you are doing a great job. You are the one that need award and amplification and stuff like that. So that shows you to where we are going. And that's why I tell you I have no worries. Some persons will fall behind once they don't learn, relearn, and unlearn. So that's it.
Wow, wow. Thank you very much. At least we don't have to get worried, and everyone who has joined, at least we have that affirmation that we don't have to worry about AI. And you have said something very useful, that the future belongs to those who leverage on technology to perform information professionalists. And I remember at one point, DL once said that AI will never take our jobs. The person who will take our job is that person who knows how to leverage on technology. And it's the same thing that you have echoed tonight, that we have to move with time. And that is what I have gotten from your conversation today, that we have to move with time. And that is what you have been doing. You have been moving with time. Yeah, we have been moving with time. And I like that part where you were looking for the young person just to show you. and I think that is what has got you where you are. I think it's a lesson to all of us that we have to friendship. You've talked about friendship. And this friendship, I think, is the intentional kind of friendship, where you befriend those that have something to learn from. And in this case, we are all your friends, because you have opened your mind to us. And now we know what you like, the kind of people you like to work with. And we will be waiting to be headhunted by you, Prof. I'm very, yeah. We have students who have joined, and I want to believe they have really learned from you, and it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, Prof, to have you. Over to you. Thank you. Over to you, Sylvester.
A great pleasure. So, Prof, I would usually say, give a guess. Who do you think is backstage here to surprise you? But I don't want to stress you. Let's just give you the surprise. There's two, but let's take the big. The big in our term, they call them the big masquerade. So, tada! Welcome, Pastor Dominic Omokaro.
Wow.
Good evening.
This is my boss and my pastor that you brought. My boss and my pastor you brought.
Prof.
My pleasure, sir.
Prof.
Thank
you enter
sir.
my city and you hide yourself and you are doing exploits. You are making us to be wondering what you are doing in Abuja.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, sir.
Wonderful biography, wonderful presentation, a beautiful career. We celebrate you, rejoice with you. From the first encounter I had with you, I knew you were a great librarian. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you also for the leadership you provide for us at NLA. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Dominic is the immediate past president of the Nigerian Librarian Association, where we now have Dr. Lar, who heads the Nigerian Librarian Association. And we are happy to have Pastor Dominic here today because he is also one of our, what's the word to use? No, it's not
Honorees.
alumni. Yeah, he was one of our past honorees. And he has really done a lot during his week. We thought to bring him on board today to help us present the certificate to you. But before he does that presentation, we have one more surprise. And here is that surprise.
Oh.
Hello, Dr. Felicia Yusuf. Unmute your mic, please, and let's see if we can hear you. Kindly unmute your mic. This is Dr. Felicia. Pardon us. I think Dr. Felicia, if you can hear us, please unmute your microphone. Thank you. Let's give her a moment. She was having a bit of a challenge joining. So, but okay. So, okay, I think let's just go ahead with the presentation. The moment we hear from her, we would allow her speak. Dr. Felicia, please join with your mobile device or your laptop, anyone that works, and we'll would have you speak. So at this point, Pastor Dominic Omokaro, I yield the floor to you on behalf of the Librarian Spotlight Africa, present.
Let's go. Let's be video
okay. Who is that? I'm hearing somebody. Is that Dr. Felicia? I'm hearing somebody. Dr. Felicia, kindly unmute your mic if that's you. Okay, I think we lost her. So, Pastor Dominic, please, over to you.
Thank you very much. And my brother and friend, Professor Christopher Nkiko. It's wonderful to be part of what you are doing. I'm really satisfied and excited, and I rejoice and I celebrate you. And you've given me one thing that made me feel proud to be a librarian once again. You know, I believe that librarianship should be taken to the highest level of recognition. And we try to do that while I was president.
Exactly.
And I'm happy to be in this program today, to be recognized as the man that should give you the certificates of the Librarians of the Month. I was the second, I think, in the series of this Librarianship Africa. So permit me, sir, to make this presentation on behalf of Librarianship Africa, to give you this certificate as the Librarian of the Month, to the glory of God, and for your continuous service to humanity in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Deeply appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, if anybody is online, can I see you clapping? Please, please. Let's see your drum rolls. Let's see your drum rolls. Let's see. Yes, bust the confetti in the air. Let's celebrate, Prof. Put everything down in the comment section. And yes, thank you very much. So, Naomi, in the absence of Dr. Felicia, I think Dr. Felicia is here now. Yes, let's just hear from her.
Joyce, and I celebrate you.
Dr. Felicia,
and you've given me one thing that made me so proud to be
very well.
Please, can you turn off your other device? It's echoing. Turn off your other device.
Okay.
Yes, please. You have just 1 more minute. We want to close the program now.
Thank you. It's nice having my Oga on board.
That's my boss.
Don't mind him, he's my boss. He taught me everything I know today. And I'm not surprised he's here. Like you rightly said, Dr. Nkiko, Professor Nkiko, sorry, has raised about 7 university librarians. And I want to say that he taught us everything we know today. Most times we still have, refer to him when we have issues where we're working. He has been a mentor. I'm not sure 1 minute is enough to say what Professor Nkiko represents, especially personally to me. I don't know of others. 1 minute is not enough to, capture that, because I'm not sure any of us would have even had a master's, not talk of a PhD, if he was not there. So, sir, I want to use this opportunity to deeply appreciate you. You know, I always appreciate you, but let me say it openly now that you are my Oga for life. Even if I become a vice chancellor anywhere, you will still remain my Oga, my
Your
mentor, my
Excellency.
boss. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Deeply
Thank you.
appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate
So,
this. Humbling.
as we're about to wrap up, and then we'll give Prof the opportunity to give a final statement. Prof, I would like Naomi to emphasize what we have shared here on the screen. Naomi, please, can you just restate the reason why we are recognizing Professor Nkiko today? Please, can you emphasize this?
Thank you, and I'm very privileged to be doing this, Prof. I wish I had also an opportunity to work with you. I hope you can make that happen in the
Yes.
future. So, Prof, we are here today because we want to recognize your exemplary achievements and the exceptional witness through the many testimonials we have listened to and today. To education, exceptional contribution to education, to community development, libraries who have garnered widespread admiration, and now to every person that you have touched in one way or another through the testimonials. Congratulations, Professor Nkiko.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I
And on
deeply
that
appreciate.
note, we hand over to you, Prof. After your reaction, we will close this program for today.
Yeah, I really want to say that it's a big privilege and honor for me to be so recognized. And this great platform is a unique selling point in the annals of our profession. It goes a long way to immortalizing persons, even after they have gone, and entrenching standards and practices. And so I do not take for granted what you are doing. Is a great work you are doing for Africa. And I was, a lot of thoughts were going on my mind this afternoon, thinking, how do you source funding to do all this and all that? So I said, well, maybe you are getting grants from the UNESCO and stuff like that. So if you are not getting, I'm sure you'll soon be getting grant from UNESCO. Sylvester, Naomi, next planting is UNESCO and top places like that. You know, sometimes when you're doing some of these things, you don't know how much you are serving humanity, and that those who serve very well at a level need to be called to a higher level. Just keep doing what you are doing, but I'm telling you, you may not know the height and depth that this will take you to, and encourage all of us that we should not rest on our oars. We should not get into early arrival. We not arrive yet. We transmit from one generation to another. So I'm deeply humbled, deeply appreciate, and bringing the former president of NLA to hand over the award to me is another icing on the cake, surprising me with voices from Ilu and Yusuf a whole lot. And I'm seeing all my colleagues sending messages, and you can't believe it. I don't know you have this kind of widespread of community. People that have not talked to me in 5 years, they are calling me today and said, I saw something. I was then I took it very serious. This is a serious issue yeah, and stuff like that. So you're doing a great job. I appreciate what you're doing. God will preserve you and make this much more amplified on a higher pedestal. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prof. So just to mention, you were actually correct on that. And I trust that after this, we're going to a greater level. The only way that we receive support right now is from people filling our evaluation form. So that's the biggest support we get. The only way you can support us right now is tell people about Librarian Spotlight Africa. If you cannot fund the initiative, share it. Tell people about what we are doing. We really want librarians making impact in Africa to be heard through the Librarian Spotlight Africa platform. And also fill our evaluation form. I think last year in the Nigerian Library Association conference, we presented our findings about what this program, the impact of this program, using storytelling to share what we are doing. So thank you everybody for joining us. If you are led to support our initiative, we do not get support from anyone. We are supported. We just it's just a team of Madam Folashade, Naomi, Victoria, a group of persons, and we are just doing this. We're self-funding this at the moment, and we'll be glad to get your support in any way. Thank you so much, everybody, and good night from.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless.
Bye.